Welcome back to JPCE, Watchdog Ministries News Report. So breaking news from the U.S. and around the world. So I'm Jared Wesley Campbell. Welcome to or welcome back. Please like, share, and subscribe, and also follow us. The world is shifting rapidly as President Donald J. Trump embarks on his second term in office. His executive actions, policy changes, and high-profile appointments reshape the domestic landscape and influence global affairs. Despite publicly saying that he was against Project 2025, a comprehensive conservative policy blueprint. Trump's early decisions strongly align with its objectives. Beyond U.S. borders, geopolitical tensions are escalating. Russia is pressing forward in Ukraine, and China is stepping up military activity around Taiwan. And conflicts in Israel and Gaza continue to evolve. Meanwhile, Turkey's strategic position within NATO is under review, and global economic and health concerns are definitely mounting up. This special report analyzes these developments in depth, examining the historical context, strategic implications, and potential consequences for the U.S. and also around the world. President Trump's fourth day in office, executive orders, policies in the shadow of Project 2025. President Donald Trump has completed his fourth day in office, following his historic re-election in November of 2024. Today, the president issued several executive orders focusing on border security, economic deregulation, and healthcare reform. His administration's policy directions have drawn praise and also scrutiny, particularly as key appointees align with Project 2025, a conservative transition plan he previously said he had no idea about. Trump's executive orders and administration updates. Executive orders signed. Border security overhaul. Signed an executive order expanding border security measures, including constructing new barriers and increasing surveillance at the U.S.-Mexico border. Appointed Tom Homan as the new border czar, reinforcing a strict immigration stance. Economic deregulation initiative directed federal agencies to reduce regulatory burdens on businesses, aligning with Project 2025's advocacy for reducing federal oversight. Okay? Healthcare reforms. Expanded health savings accounts, HSAs, and introduced new rules on federal healthcare subsidies, shifting focus towards private sector solutions. Project 2025. Trump saying he didn't know anything about it versus reality. What's the controversy? As of July 2024, when he was former President Trump, he publicly denied any connection to Project 2025, a conservative transition plan developed by the Heritage Foundation. Trump stated, and I'm quoting Trump, "I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who is behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they are saying are ridiculous." So, despite him saying he doesn't know anything about it, Trump has appointed several figures tied to Project 2025, including Russell Vought, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Tom Homan, the border czar, Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Policy. Analysis. Despite Trump's public dismissal, his appointments and appointees and policies mirror Project 2025's policy blueprint recommendations. The document outlines a strategy for conservative governance, including federal agency reforms, economic policy changes, and strict immigration measures. Right? So it's interesting, isn't it? U.S. economic and healthcare updates. Always stick to the facts. Stock markets react. Initially, the Dow Jones surged 200 points following Trump's deregulation announcements, reflecting short-term investor optimism. However, the Dow Jones has dropped over 1,200 points, over the past week due to economic instability. Oil prices have surged above $100 a barrel amid Middle East tensions. Trump's tariffs on China have disrupted global supply chains, leading to inflation spikes. Okay? What is the best case scenario? The economy stabilizes if Trump renegotiates trade terms with China and averts a trade war. Worst case scenario, a full-blown global recession worse than 2008 could happen. The RAND report insights, some of my research into the RAND reports. Global economic instability has historically led to increased geopolitical conflicts and security threats. That's from the RAND report's insider information itself. Healthcare concerns, right? And a RAND report recently read, the reports indicate potential economic instability linked to major healthcare policy shifts. The Center of Disease Control, CDC, monitors a new flu strain with potential pandemic risk. Okay. So world breaking news. Let's get into our world news, right? So world breaking news, global conflicts and developments. Russia-Ukraine conflict is intensifying. Russia-Ukraine war, a U.S. strategic retreat. Russia has launched its biggest offensive in Ukraine in over a year, exploiting U.S. policy uncertainty. Ukraine's counteroffensive is stalling as U.S. military aid slows. NATO allies are debating how to respond, with some nations calling for increased intervention. Here's a historical parallel. In 1930, Hitler's Western powers hesitated to support early European expansions and boldly further aggression. What's the best case scenario? Trump maintains limited NATO involvement to deter Russian advances. Worst case scenario, Russia captures Kiev. You're hearing it from me. Russia captures Kiev by mid-2025, ending Ukraine's independence. The RAND report insight and overstanding Russia through economic and military pressures remains ineffective, but risk strategy. Right? China and Taiwan standoff is definitely escalating. Chinese warships and aircraft were reported near Taiwan's air defense zones today. Taiwan's defense ministry has placed troops on high alert, warning of potential Chinese military action. The U.S. Pacific Command has deployed additional naval assets to the South China Sea. Best case scenario, the U.S. maintains a strong naval presence to deter invasion. What's the worst case scenario? China invades Taiwan, shifting global powers, right? You heard it from me. It's all based on objective opinions by my research. So China invades Taiwan, shifting global powers, right? The RAND report, one RAND report I read on the inside, it said economic decoupling from China presents strategic risk for supply chains and global markets, right there in the RAND report think tank, right? Israel and Hamas conflicts, updates. Trump has ended diplomatic efforts with Palestine, fully backing Israel and Hezbollah and Iran. Trump has ended diplomatic efforts with Palestine, fully backing Israel. Hezbollah and Iran are responding with increased attacks, and the U.S. troops in Iraq and Syria are now at risk. Scenarios for the next 6 months, best case. With U.S. intervention behind the scenes, a fragile ceasefire is reached. What's worst case? Iran joins the conflict directly, launching missiles into Israel, sparking a full-on Middle Eastern war. Israeli airstrikes target Hamas strongholds in Gaza, following a series of rocket attacks into southern Israel. Ceasefire talks in Qatar have stalled, with both sides rejecting key negotiation terms. The humanitarian crisis deepens, with the United Nations calling for urgent aid to the affected civilians. What about Turkey? We haven't talked about Turkey in a while, right? Turkey's geopolitical moves, shifting alliances. Turkey has strengthened military and economic ties with Russia and China, moving further away from NATO alignment. President Erdogan has been openly critical of U.S. foreign policy, advocating for a multipolar world order. Wow. Woo. Turkey is increasing military operations in Syria, targeting U.S.-backed Kurdish forces, creating tensions within Washington. What's the best case scenario? Turkey remains within NATO, but balances relations carefully between the East and the West. Possible. Worst case, Turkey fully aligns with Russia and China, weakening NATO's southern flank and increasing regional instability. RAND report research. Insight. Turkey's shifting alliances significantly challenges Western strategic objectives in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, according to a RAND report insider. Wow. Global health and economic updates. The World Health Organization, WHO, reports a new strain of avian flu has been detected in China and parts of Europe. COVID-19 subvariants continue to circulate, prompting renewed vaccine campaigns. Wow, imagine that. Global markets. Oil prices rise amid Middle East tensions. European Union debates new trade policies with China and also the U.S. Final thoughts and a call to action. Here's some key takeaways. President Trump's executive actions focus on border security, deregulation, and healthcare reforms. Despite Trump's prior rejection of Project 2025's influence on administration is becoming more evident. Global tensions are rising from Ukraine to Taiwan and the Middle East. Economic and health uncertainties dominate discussions worldwide. Before I close out, I took some screenshots of some other news that is taking place. So, not too long ago, it is said that Russia is ready for negotiations on Ukraine. There's an official statement from Putin from Patrick Lancaster News Today. And it says, Zelensky's decision to ban dialogue with the Russian Federation makes possible negotiations illegitimate. The sponsor, the Kiev regime, must force Zelensky to lift the ban on negotiations. Kiev is happily chewing on hundreds of billions of dollars from sponsors, but it is in no hurry to reverse the decision to ban negotiations with the Russian Federation. Putin said he and President Trump have always had a trusting, pragmatic relationship and stressed that the Kremlin has never refused to maintain contacts with the White House. Putin went on to say, Trump's 2020 election victory was stolen. If it hadn't been stolen, the current crisis in Ukraine may not have happened. And that's a statement from Putin. Here's another update. According to Fox News, Zelensky cannot be ready for a settlement since this requires negotiations, and he has forbidden them to himself. From Peskov said that. Trump told Fox News, so Zelensky decided to fight a much larger and more powerful army. He shouldn't have done that. He is not an angel. He could have made a deal that wouldn't have cost anything, but he decided to fight. They were brave, but we gave them billions of dollars. That statement from President Trump. And lastly, from Russian news, took a screenshot from my phone, and it says, Europeans are scared. Aggressive Trump called the Danish prime minister and demanded to give up Greenland. 5 senior EU officials told the Financial Times that Donald Trump's conversation with Mitt went very badly. Trump behaved aggressively and confrontationally. He does not accept any offers of cooperation from Denmark. He is only interested in transferring the territory to the United States. If Trump's statement previously seemed to them a political ploy to gain more influence over NATO's country, now many think that he is seriously intending to annex the largest island on the planet. The Danes are absolutely scared of this, said a senior EU official. So we're going to close out, all right? So this is Jared Wesley Campbell from JPCE, Watchdog Ministry News. This is Watchdog News. Always stay informed, right? Stay vigilant and always share the truth, right? Be objective. It's what my reports are all about, is to be objective. Always going to look into the facts, right? On here, there is no side. Right? I don't believe in a side. I believe in giving you the objective facts with good backed research, and you think for yourself, right? And you tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm going to continue to do all this research. I'm going to continue to make these videos because I care about the truth and I care about all of you, no matter what side you want to pick. I'm here for the truth. So I love you all so much. This is JPCE, Watchdog Ministries. This is Watchdog News Report signing off. I'm Jared Wesley Campbell. I love you all so much. Have a very, very blessed evening. See you again tomorrow.